Hello, good evening, everyone, and Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim listener, and happy fasting. Thank you for tuning in to this broadcast. My name is Adi, and I'll be your host for tonight. I hope that everyone is doing fine and always keep everything clean. As you all know, the Movement Control Order (MCO) is extended until the May 12th of 2020. Until further notice, please do not roam around without any reason, or Abang and Kakak police will pick you up for a ride in town. And if you do have a reason to go out, please clean and sanitize after you get home. We, the Jesselton Philharmonic Orchestra, hopes that everyone is in good health and high spirit until the end of this long lockdown. For Zoom attendee, please help us to answer a series of questions when the polling pop up. For more info, please go to our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter page, and press the like and follow button. Now, JPO are very honored to be able to invite Mr. Munir Mahzair as our special guest for tonight. Here are a slides of his life journey that I am going to share with you. Ahmad Munir Mahzair was born in Kuala Lumpur and moved to Alostar, Kedah, where he got his education and music studies. He is currently a violin lecturer at the UITM Faculty of Music and the Director of Instrumental Studies. He began his musical journey when he joined the Sultan Abdul Hamid College marching band as a trumpet player. A well-qualified musician, Munir holds a diploma in music and bachelor in music performance from University Technology Mara, where he studied violin with Encik Rosali Mustafa and Dato Mustafa Fuzenawi. Throughout his studies, he participated actively with the UITM Symphony Orchestra, National Youth Symphony Orchestra, and also led the chamber group for the first Malaysian Composers Concert Series under the baton of Dr. Tazul Izan Tajuddin. He then was awarded the Young Lecturer Scholarship from UITM and Ministry of Higher Education, Malaysia, where he pursued his Master of Music Performance in USA under several renowned violin professors such as Stephen Mehi, Solomia Ikharif, and Dawn Won. He also has actively performed both locally and internationally under various renowned conductors, including Datuk Mustafa Fuzenawi, Datuk Duhari Saleh, Datuk Mohzani Ismail, Datuk Ramli MS, and as well as recorded with renowned local artists such as Yuna, Aizat Hamdan, Shamil, and many more. Now, without further ado, let us invite Mr. Ahmad Munir for the interview. Hello, Mr. Munir, are you there?
Hello, hi Adi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, looking good. I'm fine. I'm getting fatter, as you know.
No, I think you look fine.
All right. Okay. Now, so today's topic is about from zero to hero. It's never too late. Can you share about your experience on this topic? And do tell us about the video we have seen at the beginning of the webinar.
Okay, first of all, Adi, thank you for my almost gratitude for inviting me to be part of this
Welcome.
program. Okay, this is a very good program for sharing session. Now, the video that we have seen at the beginning was actually my performance during my study when I did my master at the United States. I think that one is 6 years ago in 2014, I think. And then about a little bit about my experience. I started to learn violin quite late, actually. I think at the age of 17, end of 17, going to 18, I think. So the one that triggered me to learn violin, actually, of course, I already have my interest to learn violin. But and then after that, as one day I hear one of my friends playing the violin accompanies one of the poets during the Anugerah Cemerlang at my school. So that one triggered me, and I say to myself, how can he can play that and I can't? So that is the starting point where I start to learn the violin. So I told my father, and then he bought me one violin, which is the cheapest one. I think that one costs around 100 ringgit. So it's a China brand. Okay, it states there for full size, but it's actually a lady size. So it's a 3/4. So and then my father bought me books. That one during that time is strictly string for violin. I got only book 2 and book 3. Fortunately, they're out of book 1. So I learned it by myself, which that's the most important thing where I learned it all wrong things. So I learned all the wrong techniques and so on and so forth. But because I love it, so I learned it, and then I put my aim that I want to be joining the music school one day. So, and then after that, I practiced, and then I went to the audition. I think the UITM music faculty, they held an audition at the UITM group. I think that one is in 2006, I think. 2006 or 2005, around that time. So I went to the Yatamabo. I played two songs, which is a Piramli song, and then one of easy classical piece, which I know is all out of tune because I didn't know how to play the violin and I didn't know how to tune the instrument, honestly. So luckily, I got admitted to the faculty, and then that's a starting point when I got my very first formal lesson of violin.
So what do you
So
mean
from
about
your
faculty?
diploma, yes,
What about the faculty you're saying? Is it on UITM?
yes, it's a UITM music faculty.
I see.
So I started with a diploma program for 3 years. And then after that, I pursue with a degree program. So during the diploma, I started with Encik Razali, as you mentioned just now. So he's the one that shaped me, until what I've become right now. Okay, and then after that, the degree program, I started to learn under Datuk Mustafa Huzainawi. And then after that, Alhamdulillah, I got awarded with a Young Lecturer Scheme scholarship during that time. So I was admitted to the I pursued doing my master program, Master in Music Performance at the Oyo University at the United States, yeah, for two
I see.
years.
For your information, Datuk Mustafa Fuza also had been with us on the first day
Ah,
of this
yeah,
program.
yeah, yeah. I've watched the. Unfortunately, I cannot watch it online live during that time because I have
I see.
some things to do. So I watch the recording instead. It's a very good topic.
Okay, so nowadays we have seen a lot of prodigies. It's from kids to young adult. Does it mean that music has to be learned only at the very young age? What do you think about that?
Well, that's a very good question, Adi. Okay, I've been asked many times the same questions. Whether am I too late to learn violin? Am I too late to learn music? Well, that's why my topic today is from zero to hero, and it's never too late, because examples I can give myself also. I started at the age of 17. Not just me. I think there's other examples of other musicians also who starting late actually to learn music. And then what I can see is that it doesn't mean that music is just for young prodigy. And if you are old, you cannot learn music. It's not true, because music didn't think or didn't just not just for young kids. I've been experienced teaching, I think for 13 to 14 years since 2006. That one is a private lesson. And then after that, I've been teaching formally in the UITM Faculty of Music. So the youngest student I've got during that time is 4 years old. And then the oldest students I got during that time is 87 years old.
Wow.
And she was a grandma
Oh,
for 7 grandkids, I think. And she's a Japanese. She lives here in Shah Alam. So that's the good things is that, of course, I have the youngest to the oldest. So of course, as a teacher, you have to separate, and then you have to have a very good approach on how to teach this different level. It's a huge gap actually. But I also spoke with my student. I call her Granny. And then I asked her why she wants to learn music, because I know for her age, she's supposed to be at home, or relax, something like that. She said that she loves music. She's why she learns music, because first of all, she's bored at home. She doesn't know what to do at home, And then I spoke to her eldest son, because she lives with her son. Well, what's your view about this, sending your mom to learning music? He said, frankly, the first time he wanted to send, he was a bit afraid because of her age, And then when it comes a few months later, he can see improvement. He can see that his mom becomes more active, and then the moods also become greater. Before this is just she's just sitting by herself, and just watching TVs, and then now she's more active with her grandkids, and then she always cheerful. That's the answer I got from her son. So which is good. So meaning that music is not for young kids. Even though you are old, you still can learn, but you must have passion. You must have that love to learn.
Of course. Okay. Can people learn music with no musical background?
Well, if you're asking me, yes. It's, it doesn't mean that you have to have a musical background. Yes, you can have the musical background, but that one is a bonus for you.
I see.
If you, even though you didn't have musical background, you can be nurtured with that. That's what, because I'm part of the UITM Faculty of Music,
Mhm.
you know, that's our motto and that's our aim, you know, to nurture young people, you know, even though they didn't have any musical background. But if you see potential, we can nurture them. You know, why I say like this, because in the faculty, we have a huge gap of students. This is based on my experience in the faculty. You know, I think you also know because you also one of the alumni in the
Yes.
faculty. So you can see, you know, there's a student coming with a zero background, and then there's a student coming in with a grade, you know, every grade 6, grade 7. The interesting to see is that those people without the musical background, they accelerate more compared to the students who have grade in FRSM or Trinity. You know, it seems like the story, I don't know, maybe it give a very good feedback, you know. For example, if you heard about story of a rabbit and the turtle,
Mhm.
you know, where the rabbit is already fastest, I mean, the can run fast, but
Mhm.
still he could not win against the turtle, you know, because he thinks that he can win. But the turtle take a very slow, steady movement. So same things like students, you know, even what I can see is that those people, I didn't say that people who have a music background cannot improve. No, there are more, people can improve, of course. But what I see is that in terms of this group, the people who doesn't have any musical background, they accelerate, even though they are walking slow, but they accelerate more, you know, they can go further. But by what? They have to have passion.
Passion.
They must have that love. Again, that's the only thing. If you love what you're doing, no matter what is the obstacles in front of you, you'll face it. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Now let's talk about the benefits of learning music. Now, is there any benefit of learning music for both youngsters and the adult?
Well, there's a lot of benefits learning music, Adi, actually.
Mhm.
The most main benefit is for our brain, you know, because there are research out there have been done, you know, to see the effects of learning music to the our brain productivity, you know. Of
Mhm.
course, when we learn at a young age, and then also at the early or the adult as an adult, they have a different approach. There has a different effects to our brain actually,
Okay.
you know. And then what I can say is that it doesn't mean that you are sending your kids or you are learning music, it will be your career, or you have to be you have to make music as your job. You know, it doesn't mean that way, you know. People learn music because it gives or affects you in other way. Your psychomotor, your brain effectiveness, your the way you're thinking, you know. That's why nowadays people are already aware of that, you know. They're starting to sing, to send their kids to learn music, you know, taking formal classes out there, you know, taking music lesson, even though it's a simple music lesson, but still, you know, they can give what we call it, a good effect and impact to your daily activities actually.
Okay.
So
Yeah, continue.
if you want to say the effect of the music learning to our brain, actually, yes, of course, it gives you a healthier brain. Okay, and then also it can improve moods. All this is can reduce stress, and then it can make you more productive. All this have been happening, and I've been experiencing it when I teach the students. You know, of course, people will say learning music is difficult and stressful. Of course, it's not just music. Anything you do also will be stressful. You cooking also, you eating also will be stressful, but you're still doing it because why? You need to, and you love to do it. So, in other words, people are thinking of doing it because of what they want to do it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it gives you the more productivity of your daily work. Now, of course, in terms of these two things, the two groups, the youngsters and also the adults. Of course, the adults, I mean, I'll go for the youngster first, For the youngsters, of course, it can improve their development, language development. It can improve their test scores, and also it can modestly increase their IQ. This is already proven, by the research. And then also for the adults, also it can protect against their memory problems, and then also improve their working memory. And then also we know when it goes to old age, as 80 onwards, it can increase your postoperative confusion and delirium that affects elderly. So by learning music, it can decrease it, and it can help you in terms of decrease the postoperative confusion and delirium when you become elder.
I see. Okay. Mr. Munir, you have shared one video with us. Can we show it to the audience?
Yeah, sure. I think this video is a kind of a summarize of what's the effects of learning music to our brain. This one, I got it from the TEDx page by Anita Collins. I think we can share it to our audience.
All right, I'm going to share it now.
Did you know that every time musicians pick up their instruments, there are fireworks going off all over their brain? On the outside, they may look calm and focused, reading the music and making the precise and practiced movements required. But inside their brains, there's a party going on. How do we know this? Well, in the last few decades, neuroscientists have made enormous breakthroughs in understanding how our brains work by monitoring them in real time with instruments like fMRI and PET scanners. When people are hooked up to these machines, tasks such as reading or doing math problems each have corresponding areas of the brain where activity can be observed. But when researchers got the participants to listen to music, they saw fireworks. Multiple areas of their brains were lighting up at once as they processed the sound, took it apart to understand elements like melody and rhythm, and then put it all back together into unified musical experience. And our brains do all this work in the split second between when we first hear the music and when our foot starts to tap along. But when scientists turn from observing the brains of music listeners to those of musicians, the little backyard fireworks became a jubilee. It turns out that while listening to music engages the brain in some pretty interesting activities, playing music is the brain's equivalent of a full-body workout. The neuroscientists saw multiple areas of the brain light up, simultaneously processing different information in intricate, interrelated, and astonishingly fast sequences. But what is it about making music that sets the brain alight? The research is still fairly new, but neuroscientists have a pretty good idea. Playing a musical instrument engages practically every area of the brain at once, especially the visual, auditory, and motor cortices. And as with any other workout, disciplined, structured practice in playing music strengthens those brain functions, allowing us to apply that strength to other activities. The most obvious difference between listening to music and playing it is that the latter requires fine motor skills, which are controlled in both hemispheres of the brain. It also combines the linguistic and mathematical precision in which the left hemisphere is more involved with the novel and creative content that the right excels in. For these reasons, playing music has been found to increase the volume and activity in the brain's corpus callosum, the bridge between the two hemispheres, allowing messages to get across the brain faster and through more diverse routes. This may allow musicians to solve problems more effectively and creatively in both academic and social settings. Because making music also involves crafting and understanding its emotional content and message, musicians often have higher levels of executive function, a category of interlinked tasks that includes planning, strategizing, and attention to detail, and requires simultaneous analysis of both cognitive and emotional aspects. This ability also has an impact on how our memory systems work. And indeed, musicians exhibit enhanced memory functions, creating, storing, and retrieving memories more quickly and efficiently. Studies have found that musicians appear to use their highly connected brains to give each memory multiple tags, such as a conceptual tag, an emotional tag, an audio tag, and a contextual tag, like a good internet search engine. So how do we know that all these benefits are unique to music as opposed to, say, sports or painting? Or could it be that people who go into music were already smarter to begin with? Neuroscientists have explored these issues, but so far they have found that the artistic and aesthetic aspects of learning to play a musical instrument are different from any other activity studied, including other arts. And several randomized studies of participants who showed the same levels of cognitive function and neural processing at the start found that those who were exposed to a period of music learning showed enhancement in multiple brain areas compared to the others. This recent research about the mental benefits of playing music has advanced our understanding of mental function, revealing the inner rhythms and complex interplay that make up the amazing orchestra of our brain.
Oh, wow. Now, we do hope that we would have a neuroscientist next.
You see, from the video, it shows you that music is not just performance. It's not just as a arts, as a hiburan. It's more than that.
All right. So now let's move on. Yeah. Is there any examples of musicians that came late to the music industry and flourished at their period?
Well, yes, we have. I can give some examples here. Hector Berlioz.
Oh,
I think
yes.
you know Hector Berlioz,
Yes.
famous composer. He attempted to do composition at the age of 12. But and then later on, at the age of 23, then he was admitted to the conservatoire, where he first got his former composition study. Which is quite late already at the age of 23. Next things we have some examples is Aram Kachaturian. If you know the famous composers also, at the age of 18, then he was enrolled into music school without any prior musical background, no music knowledge, but he was admitted to the music school. And that's where he got his first, composition studies. Together, he learning biology during that time. So these two examples shows you that it's not about matter of age, it's not a matter of how music background, whether you are from zero or not. As long as you want to learn it, you'll achieve it one day. Okay. That's what my motto is, from zero to hero. It's never too late.
It's never too late, of course. Okay, some non-musician would be asking this: why learn music when you can only listen to them?
Well, that's a very good question, Nadi. Now, learning and listening is two different things. Same like you eating and you're cooking. Okay. You eating, you know the food is good, you know the food is delicious or not, but you didn't know the work behind it, how to make it, what ingredients, how to balance it, how much is the sukatan you want to put in the measure you want to put in the food. Same like you're producing music. It's not about just for performance, it's more than that. It's how you put it into the music, the interpretations. You must know the history of it. You must have a good hearing. You must have a good theoretical aspect, in order to give a very good performance, So that's why now if you see the government sectors or private sectors, they are now aware and realize the importance of music. As I mentioned just now, it doesn't mean that you learn music, you're going to make it as your career. If you learn music, are you going to be a musician? No, because as I mentioned just now, music, if you learn music, it helps you in other ways. It helps you in terms of your work. It helps you in terms of your thinking, credibility, and so on. So that's why the government sectors now, they have creating this performing group. It's not like orchestra group or whatever, but it's kind of like a choir group. During their free time, they are practicing. I have friends, are teaching choir into these government sectors, from office to office, because they want to create the atmosphere. When I ask them why you are taking this class, and you are learning this choir class and so on, because it helps them. You know, it's not just because it's a kewajiban for them to learn this choir, but actually it helps them. You know, they love to do it, a part of their work. So for me, learning and listening is two different things. All people can listen. All people can listen. All people can eat. But whether they appreciate what they eat or what they're listening, that is the important thing. You learn music because you want to appreciate it. That's the important. That's why we have to learn music.
So I'm gonna give some talk a bit. If the attendee or listener from YouTube want to ask any question, you can put your question on the YouTube comment or on the attendee Q&A. All right, let's continue with the question. What is your motivation for keep with performing and practice and teaching, Mr. Munir?
Well, Adi, because for me, because I'm in the field, I'm in this music world, music scenario, you know. So of course, I have to keep up myself. I have to put myself, you know, up to the par, you know, because when you play music, it's not the same as you're working in the office because you cannot be settled down. That's the word. You cannot settle down of what you're doing because you know there are still people or students behind you that are trying to chase you. So, and then of course, after, other things because I'm teaching. So I have students. I have students who I have to teach them. So I have to improve myself first. If I didn't know how to do it, so how am I going to teach my students? So what I did is that because I've been experienced the same thing, you know, I've been in their shoes. I've been facing the same problem, the technical part. You know, I've been learning the wrong technique. So how do I overcome that problem? So when the students having the same problems, I know how to tackle it. So my motivation is that because, of course, I learned it from UITM, I learned it from zero, I started it late. So when I see students who have passionate, that's what keeps me motivated. You know, that's what keeps me trying to help them, you know, trying to improve them. Of course, I know you heard I'm a bit garang in class, you know, but yes.
Of course you are.
But I'm just garang only in class, but outside I'm just a normal person, you know, because I can see potential in the students, you know, but if they can't see it, that's what makes me garang lah, of course lah. You know, I learned with Datuk Mus also. Datuk Mus will be like that. Okay, sorry, Datuk Mus. I'm telling the real story here. So yeah, it's the same thing, you know, because I can see potentials in the students. So I want to help them. So if they're trying to waste their time, they are not trying their hard. So this makes me, you know, a bit down lah. So that's why it keeps motivating me, you know, to help the students also. I'm very relieved, you know, I'm very happy when I see most of my students are all achieved, you know, all are doing a good job outside. For example, you also, you know, I heard that you also as a concert master at the Jesselton Philharmonic. So yeah, I'm very proud, you know. I think you are the first batch studying with me.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So yeah, so you know, that's what keeps motivating, and that's what keeps me want to teach more, you know, because seeing happy faces of my students can do on their own outside, you know, and doing a very good job outside, which makes me happy. I think my teachers also feeling the same things, you know, when see their, I can say, keturunan lah,
Yes.
you know, giving back to the community. Yeah.
Okay. So JPO is an organization with limited funding and doing activities like the outreach program. What advice would you give to us besides organizing concert, workshop, and music camp? And what are your views about our program?
Well, this program is very good. Okay, honestly, this is a very helpful program, you know, with the sharing sections and so on. Maybe I would like to recommend in the future, we can have, you know, master class in terms of theoretical class, oral class, or history class. You know, this one can help in terms of learning process, in the development of other things also. You know, not just playing, not performance masterclass, but in terms of theoretical masterclass. And then also, I think maybe the JPO can have a collaboration with the local universities. And then I'm, as behalf of the UiTM Faculty of Music, I think it's a very good opportunity if JPO and the UiTM Faculty of Music can have a collaboration in the future, you know, because in the faculty also we have this, what we call it, some program that we teach, give to the community and so on. So I think we can have, maybe we can have a collaboration in the future, you know, and maybe we can have a discussion on what programs that we can do, you know, to help the community, you know.
I can help to talk with my director about it if you want.
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. So we have seen a lot of picture being shown over here. So let's talk about the picture being shown. Can you see the picture being shown, Mr. Munir?
The picture? Sorry.
Yes. Can we talk about the picture for a bit?
Yes, yes. This one is one of my performance held in the Kuala Lumpur. Is a KLCC. I forgot the name.
Isn't this Richard Klederman, Mr. Munir?
Yes, it's a Richard Klederman. He has a concert here, and then I was invited as one of the string player with the orchestra. And then we have a very good performance there with all of my colleagues, strings player, you know, from all sorts of place. And then we're performing at the KLCC, which is a very good collaboration and linkage actually, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on with the next picture.
I think we have questions from audience.
We'll move on with the Q&A soon. Okay, I think that's a problem with the slides. All right, let's move on with the Q&A session. Are you okay with that, Mr. Munir?
Yeah, sure, I'm okay.
Okay, so a question from YouTube. How do you keep your enthusiasm in music? Anything that drives you to keep your passion?
I'm sorry, can you repeat again?
How do you keep your enthusiasm in music? Anything that drives you to keep your passion?
Well, again, as I mentioned just now, you know, the one that keeps me become stronger in what I'm doing is because when I see my students and I see people have more knowledge about music, you know, because I've been experienced before whereby the community during that time, I can't say 100% not appreciate music, but some of them, you know, when we go saying, I want to learn music, people will say, no, you can sing. You can sing anytime you want. You know, when they don't have that kind of, you know, understanding of what is music is all about, why you need to learn music, you know. So that's what keeps me motivating, you know, motivated to teach the students and then to give what I know, because I don't want my future or the young generations to be having the same things at the past, you know.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that answer. All right, so another question. What do you enjoy most about being a musician?
Well, of course,
is it the food?
The food is a bonus, you know.
Of course.
The most enjoyable thing is when you meet people. You know, music is a universal language. Doesn't matter you meet somewhere from all around the world, when you sit together, the conductor giving cue, you're playing together. Even though I didn't know what you're saying, and you didn't know what I'm saying. So, but when music is a universal language, so you meet new people, you have that linkage, you know, and you'll be, of course, some people, yeah, this is some of things that I got from students, you know. I want to learn music because I want to be popular.
Wow.
You know, so this is what I'm saying to them, you know. If you are coming to learn music because you want to become popular, then you cannot go anywhere. Because what you learn Because if you think that you are not popular, you are trying to reach until you didn't know where's the end point of that. You know, when you become popular, that's what I say, you are in the settle down, you know. You are okay, I already achieved, I already popular, and that's it. Whereby if you don't want to be a popular people, you know, you want to achieve what you're doing, there's no end point for that. You still keep practicing, you still keep improving yourself, you know, because you didn't know, but later on in the future, the results will show it to you. So that's why I say, you know, for me, I'm not chasing to be popular or whatsoever. I love to perform, that's it. You know, making friends, you know, seeing people's, you know, traveling, that's a good thing, you know, traveling. And sometimes we can have, you know, good accommodation, hotel, and so on. So, so yeah, that one is a bonus lah.
That's a bonus, of course. Okay. Do you think that there are more? Do you think that there are more we musicians can do to promote music? And what are the ways you think we can encourage more students to take up music?
Okay. As I said just now, people who's coming to the music program, you know, some of them got music background, so they know what is music is all about a little bit. Some of them coming to the music program because they have to, because of the results, perhaps. Okay, and then some of them because even though they don't have a music background, but they want to learn music. So we have different category of peoples, you know, coming in. So I think the most important thing that we can do, I think because JPA also doing the same thing, is a community service. You know, I think we can do a community program, you know, to help nurture the community. What is music is all about, so that they can have the understanding, you know, so that they can see the path. Right now, what they know about music is just entertainment. If you ask them, do you love music? Oh yes, I love to sing. That's it. They didn't say, oh, I love to play French horn, I love to play trumpet, I love to play tuba. They doesn't know all that, you know. What they know is, do you love music? Yes, I love to sing. I love this singer. I love this singer. But no, I love these musicians. I love this. I love that. You know, so the understanding what music is all about, because music is very big. You know, I think in our part, in our country, music is all entertainment. But if you go outside, you have music, history, you have music therapy, you have music psychology, you have a lot of things, music technology, you know, audio, so big, you know. But here we are still limited because of the culture, you know. Because I also want to share my experience, you know. I learned music. I think you also learn music in your primary school.
Yes, I do.
May I know what did you learn in your primary school? Music lesson.
Music lesson. It's the recorder.
Recorder.
Yes.
Did you learn theoretical class, chord progression? Did you learn anything?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, same like me.
We learn about the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, so,
yes,
or some sort.
Yes,
just the
same like what I did in the past few years. You know, during my old time, we learned folk songs. That's it. But when I went to overseas, you know, they're starting to teach the primary school the original, or I mean, the real theory subject. They learn the chords. They learn everything. You know, starting at the primary school. So after that, they know, okay, music is like this. This is like this. So now they have to choose which one they love most. But in our side, during primary school, we know music, playing recorder, folk song. Recorder, folk song, bong kakak tua, anak ayam itik tok ui, something like that.
And then about the choir for the tournament between classes.
Yes, you know, something like that. And then when people or students going to secondary school and then going to university, when they're thinking music or singing, you know, because they didn't have that knowledge behind what is music is all about. I think if you're starting at the primary school, teaching them the real, this is music, you learning this theory subject, what's chords, what is scales, what is blah, 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 and so on and so forth. I think they will have the understanding, you know, and I don't know, for me, it will help them improve their knowledge and improve their skills actually in school.
It's a good concept that we need to change about our education
Yes,
in
yes,
Malaysia, I think.
definitely.
Well, let's hope that in the near future they will change it to something much more better.
Hopefully. I think for the UATM Faculty of Music, we already started to do this community program, you know. We have been to some sort of community and teaching them, basic theory class, music appreciation. We are starting to do it, you know. So hopefully it grow sooner, and then it helps nurture the community.
I see.
Hopefully,
Yes,
inshallah.
even us, the JPO, are doing an outreach program for those who doesn't have a lot of money for music education. We have been giving them free classes uh, with our conductor, Mr. Yapling. We did classes for strings and brushes and so on.
That's good. That's a good.
Yes.
That's a starting point. We need to start anywhere. So that's a starting point, and then hopefully it will grow sooner. You know, it will
Yes.
grow bigger, and then of course, you know, when we start things, later on people will notice, and hopefully they will help. There will be more helps from others, inshallah.
Let's hope. Yes, inshallah. Right. So a question from Muhammad Faiz. How do you handle the pressure and tension during your performance?
Okay. This is a very good question. You know, and this is we call it performance ethic. You know, I'm not sure whether who is it, Muhammad Faiz. I'm not sure whether you have heard about practice 120%. You know, when you be on stage, you'll not do 120%. There will be less than that. You know, so you have to practice. You have to be prepared more percent, you know, like 120%, for example, or more beyond than that. Because when you be on stage, anything can happen. For example, in string case, maybe your string will snap, or your bow will broke. I don't know. Some things will happen. Or sometimes if you memorize, this is my experience before when I did my recital during master.
Is it
I
on the
played
video?
Bach.
Is it on the video just now?
No, that's not in the video. When I played Bach, sonata, I think partita. During the middle of because I memorized the repertoire. In the middle of that, I think the first movement, I forgot. In the middle of that, I lost my memory. Not memory in terms of I become crazy lah. You know, I didn't know what I'm playing. I cannot visual the score, you know. And then what happened is that do not stop. Music has to carry on. So what happened is that I think I think what I did is that I trying to what we call it improvise a little bit.
Wow.
So that's what happened. I improvised a little bit. I don't know what I did, but I think I get back the score in my memory. So and then I continue until the end. So anything can happen. You know, pressure. All musicians can have that pressure. All musicians can have stage fright. All of that. Okay. I've learned before this. If you have a stage fright, you can eat banana. You can drink milk. You can do whatever. Now, all these things you can do. What you need to do is that prior 30 minutes before you start, because all people or all musicians are different. For me, 30 minutes before I start, I will not eat anything. I cannot eat anything. I'll just stay calm. I just take a deep breath, and then whatsoever. When you be on stage, you are totally a different person.
I see.
And don't forget to breathe. You know, some people, when they're on stage, they forgot to breathe. They just become stiff on that stage. So that's what makes them, you know, a lot of things will happen. You know, you have that pressure, your heartbeat, you know, will become accelerate. So that's where you become nervous.
I see.
So just relax, keep calm, take a deep breath on stage, and inshallah, everything will be going smooth.
So for Muhammad Faiz, if you want more answer on that one, you can go to our JPO page on YouTube and go for Koji Morishita interview. We've talked about performance anxiety on the 1st of May with Mr. Maestro Koji Morishita if you want to know more about stage anxiety. Right. Let's move on with the next question. Hi, Encik Munir. Do you think our cultural background and how we were brought up affect our perception and appreciation toward classical music?
Uh, for me, yes, because our culture is different. Our culture is different from people outside. You know, we will grow up, we learned about folk songs, you know, but people from outside, they grew up, they learn classical music. As I said just now, you know, in primary school, they were already being taught theoretical class, you know, they already learned about, you know, I think most of the schools in, I'm talking about States and Japan, for example, you know, in school, they have their own orchestra. Even in the secondary school, you know, there are a lot of samples of videos in the UIT, I mean, in the YouTube, you know, the orchestra is all participate by, I think, 7 or 8 years old of students, you know, but they are playing a good wind orchestra, you know. But here, our students or our people, our kids here, 7 and 8 years old, what do you think they are doing? They are not playing music. I don't think that, you know. So it's our culture, you know. Same like what I said just now. When we go and say we want to learn music, do our parents will give you the pass, you know, like, okay, I'll send you to learn music. They will say, no, take this class. You learn mathematics, you learn this tuition, you go to this, you know. So that's actually our culture. So that's what we are trying to motivate them, you know. It's not, as I said, we are learning music not to make it as our career. It doesn't mean that way, you know. We learn music because to help us other things. It helps us in terms of our other skills. It's not to become musicians. It can help you, it can give you a path to become a musician if you really want it. But if you learn music as a hobby and so on, it's because it will help you in other way. I think it's a culture. You know, we have to change our culture here, the mindset, the understanding about music education. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the answer. Let's move on. Yeah. Why do you think music education is not being introduced more formally into the school syllabus? Do you think it is more to do with the shortage of qualified music teacher, or do you think they feel like music is not important as a part of music education, of education?
Well, I can't say too much about this field, you know, because I'm not into the music education, you know. But I can say based on my experience, you know, I've been in schools, you have been in schools, you know, we have been in the primary school, secondary school, whatsoever. The one who teach music is the one who's taking Bahasa Melayu as his master, is taking mathematics as his core subject from the university, and coming to the schools, they'll be given tasks to teach music. See, you know, so we have this a lot of graduates from music education. Some of them we didn't know where they go. You know, we have also students going to the school. They're not teaching music; they're teaching other subjects. It's not because of the teacher's fault. It's the system. If their mindset, the school's mindset, or the government mindset, still thinking music is just as an entertainment, then we will have the same situation. We will be having the same problem. You know, it's actually from the top. They have to think why music is important. You know, That's why I said in the government sectors, private sectors, they already start and they're aware music, the importance of music. That's why they are starting with the choir group. They have these competitions. Not because with the government, or I mean the Sharikat wants them to become musicians. Just they want to help them. Maybe stress relief. In terms of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you for that answer, Mr. Munir. So now for the last question for tonight, it's from YouTube by Adam Dani.
Oh, okay.
How do I appreciate classical music? Is there any tips about it?
Okay, Adam. I think how do you appreciate how can you appreciate music, classical music? It's actually you have to listen to it. Listen more on classical music. It's the same thing as you. I giving because I love to eat. I love to cook. So it's just the same like you eating. It just I don't think there's one fine day that you think I don't want to eat the whole day today. You'll keep doing it because it's your regular practice. Same like this. If you want to love it, you have to do it regularly. You have to listen to the music, listen to the classical music. It's not just listening. You listen and you see the score because I think Adam is a music student. I think Adam Dani is my student.
I see.
So yeah, if you want to learn classical music, you want to appreciate it, you have to listen more on classical music and understand it. That's why we teach oral, theory, history. These three subjects is very important in order to develop your performance skills. Okay, so my tip is just listen and understand it.
I see. All right, everyone, we had come to the end of tonight's webinar. For more info, please go to our JPO Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and press like and follow button. Um, if you want to rewatch and listen to this broadcast again, it will be available after this broadcast ended. The recorded live broadcast will be available for you to watch at our YouTube page. You guys had been great. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Mr. Munir, for being with us.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it
you
for
again, Adi, for inviting
yeah,
me.
thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
All right, that's it for tonight. Be safe, stay safe, and be healthy, and do stay at home. And I will lead to pray for tonight's program. And please pray in whatever faith you believe in for COVID-19. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma inni a'udzubika minal barsi wal junani wal juzami wa min syayil asqam. Oh Allah, I seek your refuge from leprosy, insanity, mutilation, and from all serious illness. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La yadhuru ma ismi syai'un fil ardi wala fis sama'i wa huma al-sami'ul alim. In the name of Allah, with whose name nothing on the earth or in the heaven can cause harm, and He is the all-hearing and the all-knowing. ربنا أتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. And that's it for tonight. Have a good night. See you all the time. And thank you again, Mr. Munir, for being with us.
Thank you.
And see you all tomorrow again, same time at 9 p.m. Good night.